Quackity recently streamed his massive lore stream for the end of Last Nevadas, so today we're going to be recapping everything that happened. The stream starts off with an overhead shot of L'Manberg before it exploded or anything like that. We then see a title card saying September 10th, 2020, the L'Manberg presidential election candidates officially begin their political campaign. It then cuts to Quackity and Tommy meeting up and making a few jokes, before Quackity says he wants to talk about the elephant in the room. Quackity goes on to explain how Wilbur has been quite hostile about the election, and wants to see how Tommy feels about everything. Tommy says he's just happy they are where they are, and talks about how it wasn't too long ago that him and Dream were having a duel on the bridge down next to them. Quackity reassures Tommy that he doesn't want to hurt anybody, and doesn't want to hurt L'Manberg. He feels like they don't need this hostile environment, as they all want the best for L'Manberg. But Tommy reminds Quackity that he is American, and Americans, as we know, are the main reason for L'Manberg's existence. Tommy takes Quackity down into the sewers, and talks about how him and Quackity go way back, and that he isn't mad at Quackity or anything, it's just this election is for him and Wilbur, and that Tommy and Wilbur want power so that the rest of the SMP notices them and knows that L'Manberg is theirs. They have the entire Dream SMP, but they can't touch L'Manberg, which leads to Tommy reassuring Quackity that they are still friends. Quackity says he is super excited for the election, and that he wants to bring the good out of people, and is happy that Tommy feels the same way. Quackity says he feels like the election will change his life, before cutting to a clip of Quackity running through Las Nevadas, set on fire and destroyed. This leads into the intro for the stream rolling, and after that, we are greeted with Chapter 1. Trust. We see Quackity running up a mountain next to Las Nevadas weeks after Slimecicle's death, in which he gets to the top of the mountain to see Slimecicle's grave. Quackity says he really misses Slime, but he's finally up and at it again, and that he's opening the country soon. Quackity pulls out a decoration for his grave, showing it's a picture of Quackity and Slimecicle together. Quackity says he hopes he is alive, and that sometimes he sits down and thinks about all the good times they had. He goes on to ask whether Slimecicle remembers the day before he passed, and how Quackity gave him a key to Las Nevadas, and talks about how that showed how much Quackity trusted him. Quackity says he really misses him, but it's time to get back to it.
What do you want to show me, Quackity from Las Nevadas?
This key right here. I want to give it to you. It's yours.
Really? Key? From Las Nevadas?
When I pass, I want you to have Las Nevadas. I want Las Nevadas to be yours.
Quackity from Las Nevadas? You're breaking a lesson. You said trust nobody. Do you trust me?
Chapter 2 then starts, titled Opened and Closed. We are greeted with an advertisement for Las Nevadas, showing us all the things that Las Nevadas brings to the server, with Quackity saying what happens in this country stays in this country, in which we cut to Quackity standing on a little stage in front of Skeppy, Foolish and Fundy, with Foolish cheering Quackity on. We cut to a shot of Las Nevadas that follows through and goes down to a secret tunnel next to the sign. We see Foolish and Quackity inside of Foolish's replica of the Among Us map, and Quackity seems angry. Foolish tells Quackity that he didn't even set off the fireworks after the presentation, but it seems like Quackity didn't care. He says that him and Foolish aren't on the same page, and that there should have been more people for his speech. They go on to discuss ideas on how to make Las Nevadas better, and get more people inside of the country. Foolish spits out a few ideas, such as a National Day of Peace, but Quackity says it's super unlikely and just ignores it, until Foolish comes up with the idea to populate Las Nevadas. This makes Quackity laugh and sarcastically say it's a great plan. He says that they could add 2 or 3 people to the citizen list, but they'd have to raise them as if they were babies. Quackity says they need to scale things and make things much bigger, and that this world doesn't even have enough people to just populate the country. Foolish replies to this saying that 2 or 3 people in Las Nevadas currently is not going to work, and that they've put too much into this to give up now. This leads to Quackity talking about how he misses Slimecicle, and that he wishes more people would just listen. Foolish says he just needs to move on and get over him, but Quackity goes on to say that he wishes more people were like him, until a baby slime jumps past them, giving Quackity an idea.
You know how slime came to be, right? Acquired human traits for evolution. Now imagine we extract all this slime from the floor and we line hundreds of these separated in their own little spaces, and we give them all the information they need to adapt to turn them into human beings. Imagine if we did that.
They create a factory to generate and populate Las Nevadas with slime people. We then see a video informing and educating the slimes on what they should do, who to trust, how to fight, and how they owe their life to Las Nevadas. These people are being created to protect Las Nevadas, but they are also informed that they are citizens and are the future of Las Nevadas. The screen cuts to black as we start chapter 3. Las Nevadas down. We are shown someone entering Las Nevadas and entering a tunnel down to a hole, in which it looks like it hosts Slimecicle's body. They capture the body and walk away as the screen fades to black. We then see Purple's newer base, which is hosted in a cave, and inside, Purple is standing next to a cage, fully armored up in netherite. As Purple is staring to whatever is in the cage, we hear Puns enter the base. This causes Purple to turn around and ask who it is, and Puns just tells him to relax. Purple says he doesn't want to fight and just tells Puns to leave, but Puns laughs at how hostile Purple is being and says that if he understood, he would know that he's just there to help. Purple asks what he actually wants, and Puns says he has been sent there by someone who knows that Purple can really hurt Quackity, not by just killing him, but by torture, as Purple has something that Quackity wants. Puns goes to ask Purple whether he knew that Quackity tortured Dream for 6 months inside of the prison, revealing that Dream was the one who sent Puns. Purple ignores the question and asks why Dream didn't come and speak to him himself, and Puns replies saying he thinks he's staying cautious for now, and that Puns was paid a hefty amount from Dream to deliver this message. Purple denies that Quackity would have ever been able to torture Dream in the prison, as they never let anyone in there, but Puns explains how Sam let Quackity in and that the prison was more like hell in a box. Puns says that he has been paid to do some investigating, and explains that the guy Purple has in the cage is Quackity's biggest weakness. He goes on to say he should train the slime to hate Quackity and eventually kill him, but Purple questions how he would even do that because the slime was raised by Quackity. It's pretty much Quackity's son at this point. Puns explains that slimes go through extreme evolution and that you can recreate the slime as it won't know anything, and says in the end, Purple and Dream can kill Quackity. But Purple is adamant that he doesn't need help to kill him and explains he could just go to Las Nevadas now and kill Quackity if he wanted to. But Puns says that isn't much fun and that if he works with Dream, he'd be able to keep Las Nevadas. Purple asks what's in it for Puns, but Puns says he was only paid to relay the message and that Dream just needs one answer, yes or no. The screen fades to black as we are greeted with chapter 4, Death. We see a slow zoom into Mexican Dream's gravestone as the screen cuts to black and then shows Limbo. We see Rambo standing on a grass block in the middle of an ocean. In the distance is someone in a boat coming towards him. We start to hear Mexican Dream shouting to Rambo, in which Rambo gets excited thinking it's his time to be revived, but quickly realizes it isn't. Mexican Dream asks Rambo whether he's ever been alive and seen the Earth, in which Rambo says yes and that it was nice. They continue to talk about their life on Earth for a bit until Mexican Dream tells Rambo to get in the boat. They sail towards some land which Mexican Dream says is his home and shows Rambo a sign just before it. On it, it says El Rapids, and Mexican Dream says that name is rubbish, quickly destroys the sign and says it's actually called Mexican Lemanburg. They climb up the stairs up to Mexican Dream's pyramid, and as they reach the top, Mexican Dream asks Rambo whether he ever misses home. And Rambo says it's the only thing he thinks about. Rambo says that every time he tried to help people when he was alive, he kinda made things worse, but that he never did it on purpose. Mexican Dream responds with saying that we all make mistakes, and quickly changes the topic to creating Mexican Lemanburg 2. He says that they can make a new country and wait for someone to come for them, but Rambo replies with saying he doesn't think anyone is coming. Mexican Dream doesn't like how pessimistic Rambo is being, and comes up with the idea to make a party for them to cheer up Rambu. He says he knows a drunk guy who claims he used to be president who they could also invite to the party as well, and Rambu replies with saying that it beats just standing still. Mexican Dream says he'll organize the whole thing and bring him back when it's ready, as he takes Rambu back to his grass block. He tells Rambu he'll be back in a few months and asks if he has any final things to say to him, which Rambu replies with saying if they do bring Mexican Dream back to life, he should remind them of Rambu, to which Mexican Dream boats away. Rambu starts writing inside an empty book, which could be another one of his memory books, until Mexican Dream suddenly interrupts him again and then actually boats away. The screen turns black until we are greeted with Chapter 5, the end of Las Nevadas. We see Quackity walking around Las Nevadas as an unknown person comes to greet him, this person being Slimesicle, who was half melted and dead, but seems to be alive again. Quackity gets excited as he asks Slime what happened, and Slime says he remembers melting down, but now it doesn't matter as they're both here. Quackity explains how he is so happy to see him and asks how he's doing, but Slimesicle just responds with saying, "I'm." Quackity tells Slimesicle to follow him and asks if he remembers everything. Slime replies with saying he remembers Las Nevadas and says he remembers everything Quackity did. This leads to Quackity telling him he has to remember one thing, and that one thing being that Purpled was the one who killed him. And Slimesicle responds with saying he remembers being in that underground area, until they are interrupted by Purpled and Dream. Quackity rushes Slime and tells him to get in the building and go back as Dream and Purpled start to blow up the doorway. Dream says that Quackity is going to pay for everything he has ever done, and Quackity responds with saying he did everything for a reason. Dream pulls out a key card to the prison and says to Purpled that they should put Quackity in a cell and that Purpled could have Las Nevadas as they torture him in prison. Quackity keeps saying he had his reasons as he pulls a lever that sets off fireworks, notifying Foolish. As Foolish comes towards Las Nevadas to check why they are going off, Quackity is trying to defend his own actions as Dream says he wants Quackity to die as he is abandoned by everyone and everything. Slime tells Quackity that legacy is everything you leave behind, referencing the lessons Quackity had taught him. And as Quackity turns towards Slime, he sees he has full netherite and has a sword pointed towards him. Slime asks why Quackity left him behind, leaving Quackity confused because that's not what happened. Foolish arrives at Las Nevadas, asking why the fireworks are on right now, and sees the confrontation. Quackity backs away from the three of them as Foolish figures out what to do. Foolish heads towards the slime factory, as Quackity tells Slimesicle that Purpled was the one that killed him, and in that second, Foolish presses the emergency button, freeing the citizens of Las Nevadas. Hundreds of slime people run out towards Quackity to protect their country.
Go, everyone go! Wait. Wait, what? Fuck you, motherfuckers! Oh my god! Oh my, go, everyone go!
Dream starts to place TNT, killing many of the citizens at once and destroying the buildings of Las Nevadas. And as Quackity is running upstairs away from Purpled and Slime, he tries to remind Slimesicle of what actually happened. And as he reaches the top of the building and stands at the edge of the balcony, Quackity tells Purpled to tell the truth, and the two of them argue. Quackity begs Slime to trust him and remember things like the key to Las Nevadas, as Purpled walks towards Quackity to kill him. But just before, Slimesicle hits him off the balcony, taking away one of Purpled's cannon lives. Slime finally remembers Quackity, and Quackity says he did the right thing, but Slime responds with saying he hasn't done the right thing just yet.
Lesson 1. Humans are assholes. You showed me that. Lesson 2. Politics are the way to power. Use the conflicts and beliefs of people to rally them. And you did. You rallied everyone here. Lesson 3. Create no emotional attachments. But you didn't follow that lesson, Quackity. And I didn't either. Lesson 4. Everything gets destroyed. Lesson 5. Trust nobody. Lesson 6. Hold your ground against authority. And lesson 7, Quackity from Las Nevadas, seek successful revenge. Because if you fail, the consequences will be bitter. I will not fail. Because you are not a good person. It's like you said with lesson 8, Quackity. Legacy is all you leave behind in this world. I hope you leave behind a good one.
Can I have running
running for president simply because I didn't think it was fair for Wilbur Soot to
From what I've
run a
seen,
one.
Remember
it
one
feels
thing.
like people
Slime.
don't stop
I
taking
just
that
want
revenge.
to give you a last piece of advice. The house always wins.
Is it ever worth it?
No. No, it's not.
Slime kills Quackity, leaving him with just one cannon heart left. And after this, we see Quackity writing a letter to a good friend, talking about how he is leaving their past feuds behind, and goes on to talk about how wherever this person may be, he sends his personal gratitude for their mere participation in his life's path to wisdom, and encourages the person to be in their life once more, leaving their differences behind. In the background of him reading this letter out, we can see him place this letter at Kanoko Kingdom, Techno and Phil's house, the island in which Wilbur left for Utah, and on the edge of a mountain. The screen cuts to black, and then shows Quackity and Foolish talking about what they're going to do next. Quackity says he has one last chance at life, and needs to make sure Las Nevadas lasts for centuries to come. He says they'll get the factory up and running and repair everything from the ground up, leading to the stream ending. This stream was incredibly well done, and all the credit goes to Quackity and the team that worked on it. It was insane. I'll be putting the VOD link and Quackity's merch link and everything in the description, so please go check it out. The entire stream is a massive experience in itself, so I wouldn't want you to miss out on that. But if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you drop a like. We'll be going through your theories and everything in the next video, so drop them down in the comment section and I'll see you next time.